have access to the information and the knowledge that our patients don't necessarily have access to on a regular basis. They are coming to us for our expertise. When we fail to deliver that expertise, we are failing to serve our clients' needs. My name is Gerena. I am a physician assistant of 18 years, which makes me the ripe young age of 21. I am the owner and founder of Beauty Bomb Aesthetics in Smithtown, New York. We specialize in injectables and non-surgical regenerative options for aesthetic medicine, including lasers, resurfacing, microneedling, RF microneedling, and the list goes on and on. Skin longevity, I think, is the most important aspect of creating a plan that's going to last for somebody and also creating transformative results. Most patients nowadays aren't just coming in for typical Botox and filler or lip filler, and that was a thing very much of the past. What we're seeing now is a larger movement towards skin longevity and skin health and keeping your skin in the healthiest position possible for as long as possible. And so that actually comes down to everything about skin health. It's barrier, it's texture, it's tone, it's etc. When we bring them in for the consultation and we go through the entire rigmarole of what we're doing, so we have like a very extensive 90-minute consultation process. We start the conversation like very simple. What are you using and what have you used? And so it's a very natural flow of bringing it into the consultation process, and patients welcome it. Like, I explain to my staff all the time that as professionals are a wealth of knowledge. We have access to the information and the knowledge that our patients don't necessarily have access to on a regular basis. They are coming to us for our expertise. When we fail to deliver that expertise, we are failing to serve our clients' needs. And that's what they're here for. They want the information. It's not their job to know what to ask for. It's not their job to come in and say, I want X, Y, and Z. It's our job to explain to them, this is what you need to obtain the goals you're looking for. This is the best way to get the outcome you're looking for. And this is what is best going to suit your skin and your long-term results. But if you think of the face as a 5-tiered cake, and you start from the base and work your way up to the icing, you have your 5 layers. You have your bone, you have your deep fat, you have your muscle, you have your superficial fat, and then you have the icing, which is the skin. We know the aging process happens on all of the levels of the cake. And essentially what's happening is the icing, our skin, is going through its own aging process and is going through its own independent changes outside of what's happening in the foundational layers. If someone's coming in with, global bone loss or global fat loss because of weight loss or just maturation, it's paramount that the icing or the skin of the face is also conditioned in order to get the best results. So I very much enjoy science. I'm a nerd and I love looking at data and I love delivering science-backed results and evidence-backed results to my patients. We've done split studies with exosomes, split face studies with exosomes. We've done comparative studies where we've looked at somebody who's been treated with exosomes versus not treated with exosomes. We've done a boatload with improved outcomes post any sort of regenerative treatment, RF microneedling, CO2 laser, combination of both of them as well. And we've also done studies with advanced settings with increased heat and energy to try to obtain more aggressive outcomes. We've done studies for body and face as well. One of the most interesting and I think fascinating ones that we actually did a study for plated eye about a year ago where we had patients come in at the day that they started the plated eye, and then they were coming in every 2 weeks following. When this study took place, obviously we had baseline photos, and then we actually put them on the glimpse to look at the appearance of wrinkle reduction and the hydration status. I think the most amazing thing that I saw was a patient of mine who has struggled with her under eyes for as long as I've known her. She had crepey skin, wrinkles, volume loss. She was a 42-year-old female. And we were planning on doing a really aggressive DECA fusion. In English, that's a CO2 laser combined with a 1570 non-ablative. So it's our most aggressive laser here. We call it the Mac Daddy. We were planning on doing that around her eyes. So she was on the plated eye for conditioning. Anyway, lo and behold, just after 2 weeks of using the plated eye twice a day, she had an 87% reduction in the appearance of wrinkles and a 34% increase in hydration status, periocular area, which was insane. Once that study was over at 12 weeks, we went on to perform the DECA fusion with a copial fusion of her face and neck. And she was only using the plated eye because the study called for just plated eyes. So her face, unfortunately, was not being treated with Intense or Calm at the time. And her eyes looked recovered about a week and a half faster than her face and neck, which in hindsight is like pretty fascinating that one product could cause that much reduction in downtime and improvement in outcomes. Any provider who goes in and administers any injury to the skin, intentional injury to the skin, without preconditioning the skin is doing their patient a disservice. I mean, realistically, a lot of these lasers, specifically the ablative ones and RF microneedling, we are breaking down the barrier. So if somebody has a stronger barrier function at baseline and they have a lower inflammatory load at baseline, their ability to restore their barrier post-laser is going to be faster and more effective. So even some of the non-ablative lasers out there that are effective at resurfacing without necessarily vaporizing the skin, they can still compromise the barrier somewhat. If the barrier function of your skin is not necessarily up to par and you go through some sort of procedure like that, you're gonna have a more difficult time repairing the barrier itself. To simplify tool essentially is how well the barrier functions. So recent studies have shown that with BID usage of plated exosomes, by week 3, there was a significant reduction of transepidermal water loss. Even more impressive was day 4 post-laser, there was a 56% reduction in tool. The two things that make patients the most hesitant about receiving some sort of aesthetic treatment is the downtime and how much it's going to hurt. Essentially, we are now able to control the downtime more effectively and the pain that they're going to have during the procedure, and that's a double win. So you would not race a Corvette without putting fresh gas in it. It's the same thing with your face. Like you wouldn't go for some sort of ablative or aggressive treatment without actually making sure that that skin is in the best possible condition that we could get it in. In 2026, nobody wants to have downtime that lasts 30 days. In fact, most of my patients, that's their biggest reservation is how long am I going to be socially down? And I find the average is about 3 days. That's what I got. And that's what I got to perform the most aggressive laser that I could possibly perform and do like a one and done treatment. Pre-care is a absolute must. It is a non-negotiable. I have turned clients away who have refused to pre-care or pre-treat with the products that I've recommended. One of the most important pre-treatment products that I've found to be helpful are either Intense or Calm by Plated. I think they have shown incredible results post and during the procedure itself. The product itself has done a really great job of prepping the skin for some sort of injury. I know a lot of people have used Calm post, and I still think it's a wonderful thing to use post. I don't use it immediately post-treatment, but I do use it a couple days after. But when you talk about preparing the skin for some injury, if you're able to load up the skin with exosomes or hyaluronic acid to increase hydration, we all know hydrated skin responds better to treatments, especially CO2, especially RF microneedling. Those types of treatments specifically target water. Water is the molecule we're going after. That's how we tighten the skin. So without the water in the skin, the treatment's not gonna work. So in a nutshell, if we're able to increase the absolute content of water in somebody's skin and we're able to hydrate them prior to the treatment, I know off the bat, immediately, I'm gonna get a better outcome. If I'm able to control or at least mitigate some of those issues even before doing a laser or an energy-driven treatment on my patient, I know the outcome is gonna be a lot better and I'm gonna have an easier time reducing that pigment, and I'm gonna need to use less settings or less energy, thus less downtime, easier recovery. Here comes my mashed potato analysis. Imagine 2 bowls of mashed potatoes and one has aluminum foil over it and one has saran wrap, and you turn that bowl upside down. The mashed potatoes are gonna be on the floor with the aluminum foil. But if you saran wrap your mashed potatoes and you condition that skin and you make sure that it's as strong as possible and it's as hydrated as possible, when you turn the bowl upside down, the mashed potatoes stay in place. Very much so, our face is like that. When the skin is in the best quality as possible to provide a structure to the surfaces underneath and the layers underneath, you're going to get overall the best outcome possible. And that's how we deliver the results that we're able to deliver, because we treat every layer possible and the skin is the most important one.